And we're live.
Hi.
Hello, you look really great in your new space. Look at that.
Very bright, very white.
Isn't it? It's very different to the yellow that I'm so used to.
Yeah, or any other background that you've been used to, wherever the musical chairs took us.
Yeah, this last couple of months has been like musical chairs.
Literally. Yeah, it's still here, we're still live, it's just in a different setting again. But this one's going to be here to stay for at least 12 months. So there's going to be no musical chairs anymore.
So let's talk about it. What's happened? What's been going on?
So I got new offices under Regis, who are, I think they're like one of the biggest, like worldwide offices, like they've got like offices everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's good because even though Heidi's not working here, Heidi can still use the offices where she is. So she can access to it. So it's really good because they've got loads of different, and I think there's about 5 offices near her. Like I never knew that there was so many offices.
Oh, so do they have like a community workspace stuff? So you can go down and join the community ones. Oh, well, that's great for you as well if you're on your award stuff. So you can go and work in locations and stuff.
So when I go to London in a couple, like obviously October and November, I'm always to and from London. There's like, I can use any of the offices. So like downstairs on this building, there's like a full floor and it's communal. So they've got loads of hot desks. They've got like soundproof, what's it called? Like pods. They've got little meeting areas, meeting rooms. So it's amazing. And it's had a full renovation. So it's gorgeous. And honestly, the team have been so amazing. Jill and Barry have literally we got in here a little bit earlier than everyone else. So you can imagine how much I've tortured him.
Oh my God.
Barry. He even fit my Alexa the other week. I was sat there for about an hour and a half and I was going, I'm going to kill her. I'm going to shot her through this window. Like, I'm really, how bad I am with stuff like that. So I rang Barry and I was like, are you downstairs? He was like, yeah, why? I was like, could you please come up here? I've got a problem. He come up and I was like, yeah, can you fix that? Because I don't know what I'm doing with it. And he was like, okay. Anyway, got it going.
You are awful with tech.
I know, disgustingly awful as well. It's really, really bad. I don't have the patience for it. That's my problem. I get angry.
You don't have patience with how have you been able to build a successful business without any patience? Because you are the most impatient person I've ever met.
I don't know, because sometimes I do. Like, I must have patience because I deal with clients. I must do, because you need a lot of patience. But I'm like, thank God for the mute button, because like they'll be doing, I'll be probably be like.
I love it with that. I won't say any names. I've been on a call with you. I love it. I've been on a call with you where someone, and it wasn't, I don't think it was even this company, so it'd be a different one. So, but like where the training department have contacted you and they're like, no, like to go doing the traditional onboarding and you're literally muting it and you're like,
I have to do to get it out, and then I'll come back and be like, yes, that's absolutely fine, thanks very much. You get through the worst one when you need the patience is you've done a client's full medical and it's about an hour's long. It's everything you can imagine. You've got all the information and they go, but I'm waiting for blood test results. And you go, thanks. Buzzing. Well, there's what I can do until they're back. So, cheers.
That's like when there was a broker used to get that where it'd be like, so is there anything else? No. Indian. Well, I've been made redundant, and so I'm ending in like a month and a half. Do you think that's going to affect it?
No.
Yeah. It's going to be a bit of a problem, that mate. At the end, like they don't seem to like remember. They've just. We did take out a car. Well, I think that might have a problem as well.
Yeah. And that's what's amazing about having the offices as well, is because obviously with the new staff, and it's hard, like it makes me laugh now that I thought I went and seen Wayne for some advice, because I was like, I don't know whether I need it, I don't know whether I don't. And he was like, of course you need offices. Like, you can't have staff and not have offices. How are we going to train them? How are we going to, like, especially because we didn't have any insurance experience. And I was like, well, because I can do Zoom and now I'm just like, I cannot believe how much more they can learn. Like last week, we got the keys and we were all like set up and everything, and everyone was here. It was so nice because you can just, you already, like, I was telling something to Heidi, and Becca was there, and Becca was like, oh yeah, oh, I didn't know that, oh yeah, but what about this? And you just naturally get more from being in an office. And I'm 100% more productive being in an office, even just getting up. And I know there'd be loads of people who work from home who say, like, that they have the same routine where they get up in the morning, they get dressed. Like, I just wasn't that disciplined. If I was walking down the stairs out of pure laziness, I'm not wasting my makeup, and I know no one's going to see me. So I'd literally get up, go downstairs, sit in whatever I was wearing, gym stuff or loungewear, no makeup, hair up. And, like, I don't think you realise the effect it has on you compared to now when I'm getting up and I'm putting work clothes on, doing my makeup, driving to the office. Like, it's been so much, obviously everything that's happened recently with, like, my grandma and things, it's been a massive godsend, because it's giving me, like, a routine that I have to sort of, like, I'm looking forward to the week to start for it. So
I think on that as well, because I work from home, but I worked, but I don't. This room is only used for work, and I do not come in here unless I'm working. When I try to work from home, like in the lounge or in the, like, I find that very hard, because it is, as you say, especially when you've got kids and they're like, you know, like Alba, the amount of times you've had Alba come through your door to you, it's hard. And I miss, when I worked in an estate agency, that office environment that you were just saying, where you could talk. Like, I learned, the reason I got good at my job was because it was the questions that were flying across the office, you know, when there was no clients there, and it'd be like with what you're having with medicals, it would be things like, someone would come out and one of the valuers would come in and they go, that house has had, you know, like black mold. And I'd be like, what's black mold? And then we'd have this big discussion about what that was. And that's the stuff that over time makes you a better advisor.
Yeah, it's all the things, like, you soak up as a sponge, don't you, when you're around it? Like, you just naturally take it in, and you can be more inquisitive and get more. And I think even, like, listening, like, for the girls to listen to me on the phone.
Yes, that's big.
It's like, I did a mock appointment with Heidi last week, and I'm not blowing my own trumpet, because I just think that what I do is just normal. And then when I done it, she was like, that was fucking brilliant. And I was like, why? She was just like, that is unbelievable. Like, it's awesome. Like, you were so good. And I was like, so do you think I should record? What about if I record me doing an appointment and then I put it on? So, and then like a fake one, like a mock one. Just like, that'd be really, really helpful. And I just thought, it's so mad that, because I don't want to sort of influence them to be a certain way, because I don't think there's anything worse than trying to, what's the word, like, mold someone into being who you are. Because the way I am is completely different how Heidi is. And, like, me being like, I didn't want to do one of those types of appointments unless they wanted me to, because I didn't want them to think I was being like, right, you need to say this, you need to do this, you need to act like this, because that might not be their comfortable, even though it is for me. But I suppose just hearing the way, that's why being in an office is good, because hearing the way I do it, naturally, when they're doing it themselves, will be able to, like, think, oh, Karla said it like this, but I can, you know, rephrase it like that. Gives them, I suppose, a guideline, a base to go off.
It's very, very, like, so many things you're saying there is so important, because it is like that. Like, when I was an estate agent, not a broker, because I didn't work in an environment like where you are now, but like as an estate agent, I was with someone who was exceptional. My manager was amazing at what he did. Like, you are good at what you do. But it's funny, because when you listen to those training materials, I don't think you see it in the same way. And I don't think, like, but what I would do is sit and listen to my boss, as in, like, while I was working, you'd be hearing it. And then you go, when I went out and spoke to somebody, sometimes you just end up saying things and you think, why did I say that? I've heard, and then it was because this guy Tony would say it. And I think that's the same thing you have here in the office, is if you're in, like, where you sit, you're not in your own office, you're in the room with the girls, they are going to pick up on word patterns and the way you speak, and then they'll add their own flavor to that. I think it's a really powerful tool. It's going to be really exciting to see. Have you found it hard to adjust, or is it been good being in the other, having that kind of, you know, middle one?
I loved it. Obviously, when I was at John's, when, bless him, as if John helped, like, put me up for 8 weeks in his office. Like, even just doing that, even though it wasn't mine, and it was still somewhere that we could go, and it was better than being in the house. And now when I think back to it, like the fact I was going to get, obviously with everything that's going on with the house now, like Jesus, that's ended up, it's going to be a year. And I just think if I've signed a contract with these for a year, by then I'll know exactly what I want to do, and whether I want to be like completely remote because I'm going to be hopefully doing X, Y, and Z, or do I still want to be in an office, or do I want to buy somewhere and turn, like, it just gives me a bit of space to be able to work.
I guess there's also like you could build like offices at your house if you wanted to, and things like there's more scope if you ever needed to. Do you know what I mean? It's that.
Yeah, I just can't believe I was gonna, like, now the house is in like where it is, I was going to take a third of it downstairs to turn it into an office, because I was like, well, we don't need all that space, I'll make it into an office. But now, like, just coming out, and it is, don't get me wrong, it is an expense. Like, I'm not saying everyone needs it. I toyed with it for ages, because I was like, even though the business can afford to do it, I don't want to have to pay for something that I don't essentially need, because I suppose I found that really hard doing that, like getting something that I didn't need but I thought would better the company and committing to it. Really, it took me about 6 months to fully like commit to it. And I know it's going to bother me for the first few months. I'm going to look at it and think, like, it's such a lot.
It'll bother you forever. It's you. It'll bother you forever. You'll pay it, and you'll pay it just like it.
I hate waste, can't stand it. But it's not waste. But then everything I've just said there, it's not waste because it's an investment, because I'll probably, 100% the team will be more productive, but I'll be more productive, and just being around it, and you feel as if you're actually growing something. Like, that's what I'm excited to be around more, and like to see the girls develop, to see the team get closer, like you're growing like a foundation for what's coming next. And that's the part I'm really happy about being in the office for, because you can't get that type of connection over Zoom and things. It's just impossible. Like, you might be able to like build, like, bloody hell, I mean, you have built our full relationship on Zoom. Like, I'm actually scared for the day I see you, in case I'm like,
in case you hate me.
It's actually a twat.
The amount, but I'm like that with many people. All my clients are through Zoom, but that is I think it's a different thing, because like, as you say, like, it depends on what you're doing, like, I think when you're if I had staff, I don't know, that's a different thing to clients. I think, like, your clients don't have to come in the office, they can speak to you over the phone, but your staff, I think, if I had staff, I'd want to be around them, I want to speak to them, I want to not to watch them, but to be connected with them and feel part of it. I also think I wanted to ask your opinion on this, how you feel about this, because I grew up in a dance school. My mum owned dance school, and we had a premises, so we lived in the business, large house. I found that, especially growing up in it, I know my parents, after they moved, said it was very hard to switch. They said if they were doing it again, they never would have had the business in the house, because it was really hard to switch off. So do you think now that your house is being done up and it's going to be amazing, and now you got the offices, that's going to be a nice kind of switch? So it's like when you go home, it's home.
Yeah. Because that's like, as we said, like, we've been in that house now 18 months, and I feel, even though, like, I haven't put anything on LinkedIn about it. On my Instagram I have, but like, it was basically we may as well have tore down the full house and rebuilt it.
I didn't realize you were doing as much work as you were doing.
Yeah, but I feel as if we've lived in it felt to me like we've been living in a B&B, because it was literally, we didn't spend a penny on it. I was like, I'm not spending any money on it, because I know it's all getting ripped out. And even though, like, the room that's going to be the kitchen, we've put the sofa just for now, because they're doing the old front room, demolishing that. Like, it's not done. It's just whitewashed. There's cables. There's, it's cold. There's no roof hardly, but it still feels more like home, because it's ours, and because we've designed the way we want it to be. So I said to Keo the other week that it's a good job that the office isn't there, because then I will have some like boundaries. The only thing is, I say that I'm open that basically I'm going to absolutely buzz off my swanky offices, and then I'm going to go on my swanky house and buzz off that. But then I'm going to have this, and this is going to be there. And my emails will have everything on it, and I'll be like technically still working because I can do everything from my phone. So it's really hard. That's the bit. Next will be new house, new office, new phone, and have this as my work phone. So I have literally this phone stays at the office, and then the other phone comes home with me. That would be.
I've had to do that in here. So I have bought a laptop so I could, you know, move around and take it around. And now I've kind of got a rule where I don't take the laptop. If it can't be done on my mobile phone, which many of my client work can't, you know, then I can email you and WhatsApp you. That's fine. But other than that, like, it's only in work hours, because it does get it. That's the issue. We're more connected, isn't it? And especially with someone like you, especially when you've got clients like you messaging me at like midnight going, Ash, you don't do it. You're really good now. You're really good. But, you know, it's like teaching, it's like training an animal, isn't it? You know, it just takes like 3 years nearly for you to finally understand boundaries. You know, training a dog. You're not a dog. I wouldn't pay 1,500 quid to keep you alive.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a whole nother subject. That.
Anyway, let's all right, let's wrap this one up. Next week we're going to be looking at income protection. And all of that type of stuff. So any parting words on this one before we run the outro?
Sometimes you've got to speculate to accumulate. Is that the right thing for the
yeah, commit to it. That was so profound. That was like a quote, and then you went, I think that's the right thing. Yeah,
I think it is. But basically, sometimes you've got to take a bit of a risk, but